Hi, I just wanted to talk to you guys about something called light sticking. I don't know if you've heard of it. Anyways, this is pretty much the way I would shoot candids during a reception if you're walking around trying to get dance floor shots, going around all the tables. Usually I'll have 2 to 3 external flashes kind of set up, and then what I'll do is I'll put a gel on here, a little CTO gel, just on there with a rubber band, and then I have this Gary Fong diffuser. Put the Gary Fong diffuser on, leave it locked in the up position like that. Set your white balance on your camera to tungsten. That's going to match most lights that are indoors during a reception. And then what I have is Yongnuo RF603 version 2 triggers. Set both of them to TRX. Pop the battery cover off. To manually, in there you can see there's little switches. Just switch them all to be the same one. Turn your flash on. Now when you go to take a picture, it's going to go off. So you see sometimes people with a little cord and they're walking around like, like this with a little flash. Pretty similar idea. The only difference is when you're shooting an event, sometimes you want a little bit more flexibility. So what a lot of people do is they do something called light sticking. And what they'll do is they will throw this little flash shoe, they'll screw it, this little stand right there, they'll screw it onto a monopod. This monopod was maybe 10, 15 bucks, something like that. Anyways, screw it on there. Put this, screw it right on there, and then you have this device right here called a light stick. And usually in a reception, I'll be shooting like maybe f4, f4.5, something like that, and I'll drag the shutter down to maybe a 50th of a second. I'll shoot about 1600 ISO. And I usually just adjust, I'll adjust throughout the night depending on the settings, but what this allows you to do is, let me see if I can get back a little bit further. It allows you to be able to go into receptions and pop candids, and you have a nice little light coming out from the side, off-camera lighting, and you kind of have to adjust it, depending on the group where they're at. But this allows you to get in really close, you can get in really wide, and you can kind of still go off camera, shoot extra wide from above. You can do candids up close, even if you're doing group shots. You can walk up to a group, zoom at 35. I shoot a wide angle, just because I like getting like right on top of it. But you really, any mid-range will be fine. This is not a good technique for zooms, so anything 50 and above is not going to be very good. But anything fairly wide, mid-range is going to be pretty good. And I shoot a 17 to 35 on a full frame. That'd be like a 10 to 24, something like that on a regular body. 17 to 55 on a DX, or something like that. That'd be pretty good too. 24 to 70. I'm usually shooting from the 24 to 35 range anyway. Anyways, again, I throw flash, manual mode. I have 2 RF603 triggers made by Yongnuo, a Gary Fong light sphere. This helps really just give you a more evenly distributed light, because if you're holding it out here in any little turn, if you're using just bare flash, it can really like direct the light like really kind of in a different direction. Because this is close like that, it's not going to make a big difference as far as affecting like your background light. So another thing that's really cool about this setup is that it lets you shoot some pretty slow shutter speeds, and the wider you go, the easier it is to get slower shutters. You know, I'll shoot sometimes like insanely slow. I'll shoot like a 1/10 of a second or 15th of a second, moving subjects on a dance floor. Boom, flash freezes them. And again, I'm just going using a full CTO gel, usually indoor for receptions only. After the sun's gone down, I'm going tungsten white balance, and that's pretty much it. You're running and gunning and getting in close and just doing your thing, and it works pretty good. It works a little bit better if you have some external flashes to throw on stands. Just throw the gels on there, you know, full CTOs, and then just, you know, adjust your powers throughout the day, and that's pretty much all you gotta do. It's pretty easy. But that's light sticking. I know a lot of people that do it. It's kind of a really cool trick for, you know, wedding photography, any kind of event photography. If I need to go where it's not a good idea to have a light stick or any sort of object out from the side, you know, especially like sparkler exit, cake cutting where there's a lot of people crowded around, I'll just throw the light or the diffuser straight onto the flash. I'll throw the flash, everything. I'll just hook this whole thing right onto the camera like a normal flash, but I'll keep the diffuser on there, and then that kind of helps, you know, just throw a little bit of light around, soften it up a little bit because it's kind of bouncing out everywhere, but it's not really ideal. The best thing is really to have that stick out and just get that nice little, you know, light coming in from the side and above, and it looks pretty good, especially if you have the external setup. So anyways, that's my little setup.